You heard that right. The game that launched with the PSVR2 has still set the bar on how to make an online multiplayer first-person shooter, reliving the glory days of GoldenEye 64, but in full VR. Pavlov never goes on sale, but it's the best example of how VR completely destroys the flat screen experience, and it's currently 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 40% off total. Over 4,300 people have rated it 4.49 out of 5 stars, with 89% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And honestly, many people don't give this a chance because it doesn't have multiplayer progression or a single player campaign. But don't let that fool you, because all of the attention was on the actual gameplay experience, and it's perfectly polished on the PSVR2. Featuring the most beautiful and realistic gun graphics and interactions in any video game, this is so realistic that it'll actually teach you how to manually reload real guns in real life, and I believe this is truly the first real concrete example of military training for everyone. And speaking of which, I didn't realize that with the most recent December update, the developers have done it again by introducing a new game mode, a new multiplayer map, and some new gun skins. So cool to see the devs continue to pump out free content since the PSVR2 launch, as it still easily holds up against the best of them. The most recent update takes the very first tutorial single-player practice experience into a multiplayer one with the brand new co-op kill house, now allowing up to 5 players to take on new challenges. Very cool. That's not something I would have thought to request, but now realize that this is an excellent way to teach your friends how to play and to sharpen your own skills without the constant threat of others online. And finally, player stats have been introduced and will now keep track of your skills moving forward. On top of that, you now have more gun skins that you can choose to apply to your weapons, along with the most important part of this December update, which is a brand new multiplayer map called Japan. And it's only available on the PSVR2 and PC for crossplay. All of that said, the game takes advantage of the PSVR2 tech in so many ways that many of you still haven't seen what's truly possible. So be sure to grab this game and subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to show you how I play Pavlov in just the next few days. That way you know how to pick this up and play right away. And now for the game that I feel everyone needs to get for their PSVR2, as I just recently discovered how incredible the single-player survival first-person shooter in VR really is. This is Into the Radius, and it's currently 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 45% off total. Over 1,600 people have rated it 4.59 out of 5 stars, with 91% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And after putting in over 14 hours into this epic campaign, I'm still not even halfway through and have put aside Aces of Thunder because I'm completely hooked and pulled into this super trippy paranormal world that has literally blown me away the moment I loaded it up. Wow, oh my goodness, right away! This looks incredible, man. Yes. Oh, yes. I now understand why it's been highly recommended, because it truly does set the bar for what you should expect as possible on the PSVR2. Basically, the story begins with you starting at a warehouse, which is designated as your home base. And this is where you learn that you've been quarantined from the outside world and are stuck in this massive zone due to some unnatural, catastrophic event. Quite simply, you will scavenge for scarce resources and bring them back home in order to stock up on supplies for the next run using your trusty backpack. Your only means of communication is with an outside agency via a terminal at your home base that is desperately trying to contain the problem. This is where you will accept the main and side missions to progress in the game and earn cash to purchase more weapons, ammo, and equipment. Classic stuff, but without interacting with any NPCs. These missions will have you loot specific locations for info and resources, clear out areas of paranormal activity filled with phantoms, and even find anomalies hidden throughout the world using a PKE meter that has a hot-cold sort of tech that works beautifully and is so much fun to use. This is an open, structured world, which means it has multiple maps connected together to make one big map. And what I love is that every area is uniquely awesome and is scary to walk around every corner, as you can't quite see the enemies, such as phantoms, because they look like shadow beings, especially at night with that 4K HDR OLED display. Oh my. Shit. That flashlight is so kick-ass and is such a necessity to survive.
Oh, that scared the crap out of me. Oh, fuck.
But again, terrifying to use because it will attract unwanted attention.
Oh, what is that?
Every area feels extremely dangerous, and every enemy encounter feels frenetically fantastic. And of course, every bullet literally counts, as you can scarcely see them scattered throughout the land, and I seriously can't express how cool it is to see your weapons gradually degrade in real time, forcing you to manually polish and clean your equipment to prevent jamming issues in the heat of battle. So amazing.
See? Yep, it's cleaning it. Oh, that is so cool, and you can see the condition improving in real time again, like visually and on the bar. So as long as you keep your weapons clean before they get to that red area, before having to purchase more and find more, and man, everything counts. I feel like more than Fallout, where every clip, every bullet, everything matters, man. So kick-ass.
I honestly feel this is just as impressive as both Resident Evils, and believe every PSVR 2 owner needs to play this to truly know what is possible now on the PSVR 2. I'll definitely be dropping some videos throughout the week to show you guys what I'm talking about, but do not wait for my review for this one. Just get it and get ready to be blown away.
Nice.
Become the iconic Zula Hendrix, an ex-colonial marine originally featured in Dark Horse Comics.
There's no easy way to say this. I found exactly what I was looking for on Perdek. Full-blown investigation.
As she makes a return in Alien Rogue Incursion VR, and it's 75% off. Almost 2,600 people have rated it 4.5 out of 5 stars, with 88% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. In this game, you are an ex-marine named Zula Hendrix that is sent on a dangerous mission to investigate an SOS from the planet of Purdon, home to a long-defunct mining colony. With her ever-present synth companion Davis-01 for guidance, Zula must infiltrate the infested Gemini Exoplanet Solutions research facility and survive the threat of the most cunning xenomorphs ever encountered using stealth and serious firepower at her disposal. And you'll need all that confidence against these xenomorphs who behave just like their cinematic counterparts, actively hunting you throughout locations, crawling through ducts and tunnels, and jumping on and climbing objects within the world. Oh, that truly sounds awesome, and at that sale price, this time I just can't say no, so I'm gonna grab this and give it a go right after I finish Into the Radius. Explore the endless darkness, mine valuable resources, and fight off alien beasts as you try to repair your ship and escape this epic sci-fi campaign, Into Black. And it's currently 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. Already, 270 people have rated it 4.93 out of 5 stars, with pretty much everybody giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Wow, this sounds absolutely incredible. Into Black is a first-person action-adventure that takes you into the depths of a mysterious alien planet. Here, you must explore the endless darkness, mining and gathering the valuable resources needed in order to upgrade your character and repair your ship. Survive the deadly alien creatures lurking in the darkness in over 20 levels across multiple unique biomes in a fully narrated story campaign that takes approximately 10 hours to fully complete. And get this, you can play this epic adventure solo or with up to 3 friends in 4-player co-op mode. And on top of all of that, this game includes a singularity mode that features player versus environment, with up to 11 other players where you'll have to forge uneasy alliances as you navigate an ever-shrinking maze. I don't even need to think about this one, because everyone everywhere is saying that this game is an absolute must-have on the PSVR 2. With real handcrafted claymation that is 3D scanned and filmed in stop-motion animation, this is The Midnight Walk, and it's 45% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 50% off total. Almost 3,000 people have rated this 4.73 out of 5 stars, with 94% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. Which sounds incredible. But I do have to say that currently the YouTube community is literally lit about this game in both very positive and negative reviews, which I'll get to in a second here. In this game, you must survive and outsmart the many monsters on your journey, using Pop Boy's flame to distract while you hide from and evade the many threats of the dark itself. Encounter new friends and experience awe-inspiring sights as you navigate a path fraught with both peril and affirmation. That said, at launch, this game did disappoint everyone as the resolution was not up to expectations, but thankfully they recently rectified this in the latest patch. However, the many playing on the base PS5, not the Pro, are still experiencing inconsistent frame rate issues, specifically when using the smooth turning, so I just have to manage expectations there. Relive the Rush that has been remastered to take advantage of the PSVR 2. Rush Apex Edition is currently 35% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 40% off total. Over 260 people have rated it 4.75 out of 5 stars, with 94% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Amazing. With over 90 tracks with new effects and cosmetic wingsuits, choose from race, time attack, score challenge, and free flight modes in this 12-player multiplayer mad race as you fly to the finish line using your arms and head, now remastered for the PSVR2 Sense and headset haptics, along with those awesome adaptive triggers and that silky smooth frame rate. And I gotta say, how cool this game would be if it had the bHaptics native compatibility, allowing you to feel the speed intensify as you descend while your arms feel the wingsuit taking those turns would make this feel absolutely incredible. Hopefully the developers are watching, as that would make me jump into this game right away. But if you haven't yet, get Gran Turismo 7. The real driving simulator cranks the immersion full throttle in the most breathtaking racing experience, and it's currently 50% off right now. Over 45,000 people have rated it 4.37 out of 5 stars, with 84% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And to celebrate over 100 million units sold, you now get an extra 750,000 credits in-game, valued at $10 American. What's really cool is that you can use your DualSense controller playing Gran Turismo while you're charging your PSVR Sense controllers, playing with the traditional classic setup or motion controls where you can steer it just like a racing wheel. But I highly recommend getting at least a decent force feedback racing wheel, as it really is absolutely mind-blowing. I've never played anything at the arcades that felt even close to this force feedback wheel, and couple that with the PSVR2 4K HDR OLED display along with the headset haptics, and you're totally living the dream here. Specifically, I'm currently using the Logitech G29 from like 6 years ago, and I'm still really happy with it. But I really do want to upgrade to a direct drive wheel, as they provide the most precise, most realistic next-gen racing experience. So I do have to recommend everyone looking into that and maybe spending the extra couple $100 if you can afford it. And you're seeing that the whole direct drive thing allows you to change up the steering wheel directly to that motorized base, allowing you to essentially switch out any style of wheel. But I personally want to get the Logitech DD Pro, as it touts to have the actual direct drive steering with a life-sized steering wheel, unlike all the other ones I'm seeing here on the market. Now, if you really want to feel everything without connecting directly to the Matrix, you can clamp that racing wheel onto the Yautja motion simulator, and as you can see right here, the sense of speed and braking would be perfectly translated in real life, like having an amusement park in your living room. Legit. Of course, quality does cost money, and this thing is at least a couple thousand US, but I do want to show you guys what's currently possible now at home, especially with the PSVR2 setup here. And for those of you like me who were able to get the PS5 Pro, I want to give a shout out to Cussman in the comments. Last time GT7 was on sale, he had explained in excellent detail on how to set up the video output settings to eliminate the reprojection in GT7. This is at the cost of the HUD element showing more wonkiness, which, to be honest, I shut the HUD off completely, so it's perfect for me. Thanks so much, Cussman, for sharing that info. That's truly game-changing stuff. Very much appreciated. And everyone, please check out Cussman's YouTube channel for many other gameplay demonstrations that you can't find anywhere else. Awesome. And for those of you that are still unsure whether or not Gran Turismo 7 is for you, as Cussman mentions here, you can check out My First Gran Turismo on the PlayStation Store for free right now. And yes, this is PlayStation VR2 compatible. And I gotta say, I didn't realize how much content the free trial offers here. This is a beginner-friendly introduction to the world of racing, crafted to bring the most excitement of Gran Turismo to new players. It captures the essence of those unforgettable first laps in a streamlined, approachable experience. Players can unlock achievements by completing a variety of fun and engaging challenges that introduce essential racing techniques such as cornering, braking, and acceleration. Set record times across an array of challenges, including 3 race events, time trials, and license tests. Feel the exhilaration of driving 18 unique cars through a variety of scenarios that sharpen your racing craft on 3 iconic Gran Turismo circuits: Kyoto Driving Park, Deep Forest Raceway, and Trial Mountain Circuit. Either way, this is a true system seller, and you'll always have something to play for years to come, whether in single player mode, campaign, against Sophie the super sophisticated AI, and of course online multiplayer with its online worldwide tournaments. The only real negative for some of you is that the game requires an internet connection to play even single player, so just a heads up on that. With yet another game that is pushing the boundaries of physics-based combat in VR, get ready to rampage through hordes of enemy bots and mechs in UNDERDOGS, and it's currently 60% off. Over 320 people have rated it 4.62 out of 5 stars, with 90% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I did finally get my hands, head, arms, and torso fully enveloped in this physics-based mech fight club using the incredible bHaptics tack suit and tack sleeves, and I'm excited to report that it really does add to the sense of power to each punch, as you can feel your arms through those tack sleeves smash those bots with impact, along with your back and chest tensing up at the same time.
Okay, oh, that's cool. So when I hit the first time, I could feel that not only in the controller, but the tack sleeve big time. And in my back lateral, man, that's awesome. That is so cool. Wasn't expecting that. Oh, hello.
The game simply pits you against waves of unique bots during the night, while during the day you go through comic book style cinematics talking to NPCs where you get to repair, upgrade, and customize your mech with new parts before you suit up again and fight at night to make those credits. Now, heads up, unlike traditional games where you use your left stick to move around, this has you grab the ground with both hands and throw yourself into the enemies, body checking them into traps in each other, which feels absolutely awesome with that bHaptics tack suit and tack sleeves.
Very cool, man. You feel that all over your body.
You can use the right stick to turn your body, but I do recommend turning it off completely, just using your actual body to turn around like real life, as it feels so immersive to play this way. I still have to sink more time into this as I've only scratched the surface, but I'm really excited to check out that sandboxer mode where you can create your own arenas and upload them for others to play through online, essentially giving this game unlimited replayability. That said, I did have to stop after 40 minutes because my arms were exhausted, because you do have to exaggerate your swings and punch with force if you want to do more damage, instead of just wailing around with weak hits that do nothing. This is such a great workout that I actually had a bicep pump the next day, which felt so good. Again, I still have to put more time into this, but I do think if you want a straight up arena mech brawler in VR, this will satisfy that craving. One of the best games on the platform, Phasmophobia, is a 4-player online co-op psychological horror game, and it's 30% off. Over 25,000 people have rated this 4.64 out of 5 stars, with 91% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. You and your team of personal investigators will enter haunted locations filled with paranormal activity and try to gather as much evidence as you can. Use your ghost hunting equipment to find and record evidence to sell on to a ghost removal team. You'll identify over 20 different ghost types, each with unique traits, personalities, and abilities to make each investigation feel different from the last. With 5 difficulties to choose from, along with daily and weekly challenges, there are plenty of ways to test your skills. And I believe the game can be played cooperatively with flat screen players as well. And it includes crossplay support, making this even more engaging with a broader audience. It also touts you can create your own game modes to suit your group's needs. Interesting. And what's crazy is that I didn't realize that this game actually features voice recognition on consoles and allows ghost hunters to utilize the spirit box and say phrases such as, "Are you friendly?" or "Give us a sign," to actually communicate with the ghost. You can also say the ghost name or other recognizable phrases to be provided with the chance to increase its activity for a short time. But to do this, you'll need to first go into the main menu, navigate the game options in the journal, and set voice recognition mode to voice for this to work. And to add to this awesomeness, the developers have had a constant pulse on the community, taking player feedback and improving the game throughout the entire 5-year journey, and still continues to provide even more free content. And again, the developers are being completely transparent by letting us know their future plans and providing us with a roadmap, with the new year getting even more house map reworks, new maps, seasonal events, and a complete player character overhaul. Very cool. Arizona Sunshine 2, the next-gen sequel to the fan-favorite VR Apocalypse, is currently 50% off right now. Over 3,300 people have rated it 4.53 out of 5 stars, with 89% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And now I'm totally interested in getting this simply because both Arizona Sunshine games on the PSVR2 are now natively compatible with the mind-blowing bHaptics tack suit and tack sleeves. And after a few months of solid use, I can totally recommend getting this incredible tech, because you'll now actually feel the impact of an axe chopping a zombie with those tack sleeves, while being alerted by feeling your back being clawed from behind. As you react, you'll literally feel your shotgun being unsheathed from your shoulder, to the powerful reverberation of the recoil through both arms, and having your body feel the jolt at the same time. This is some seriously epic shit. In a post-apocalyptic world where every bullet counts, experience the thrill of realistic combat as you wield all new and fan-favorite weapons. And what's really kick-ass, man, that I've been waiting to play this game, you can enjoy the full campaign in 2-player co-op mode. As well, you can join up to 3 other players in 4-player co-op Horde mode, and they've already released an abundance of maps for the actual Horde mode, so very cool, man. They put a lot of love and attention to this game and then included all this extra DLC. And what's better than braving the end of the world than surviving it with your new best friend, Buddy? Not only is Buddy your four-legged companion through thick and thin, he's also the goodest boy and will help take down those pesky Freds for you. And they really put a spotlight on this dog, man. There's even extra skins like an undead doggy and, another breed of dog, the Corgi, altogether, which is really weird but looks really cool. Everyone in the past that's commented on this game whenever it's gone on sale has only said great things about this game, seriously. And again, if you have a friend to play with or friends to play with, only better from what I'm hearing.
Did you see that?
And right now you can get Arizona Sunshine Freddy's Bundle at 55% off. And this bundle simply puts both games together at an even better price for those that don't already own the original on PSVR 1. Otherwise, I recommend upgrading the first game for like $10 and then get Arizona Sunshine 2 by itself while it's currently on sale. And now I'm totally interested in getting this bundle simply because both Arizona Sunshine games on the PSVR 2 are now natively compatible with the mind-blowing bHaptics tack suit and tack sleeves. And now after a month of solid use, I can totally recommend getting this incredible tech because you'll now actually feel the impact of an axe chopping a zombie with those tack sleeves while being alerted by feeling your back being clawed from behind. As you react, you'll literally feel your shotgun being unsheathed from your shoulder to the powerful reverberation of the recoil through both arms and having your body feel the jolt at the same time. This is some seriously epic shit. And I just have to speak to this really quick. Arizona Sunshine on the PSVR 1. I did experience that co-op mode and I thought it was good. Again, good. That's the best way to describe it. What I didn't realize is that this remake actually offers all of the DLC from the first game. Very cool, man. Being honest, I don't think I played any of the DLC. I just played the original campaign all the way through with my friend and I was kind of done with it after that. So, and of course, they've kept that intact. You can play the original campaign in co-op mode on Arizona Sunshine Remake, as well as the 4-player Horde mode. And I do believe that was already available on the PSVR 1, so nothing different there from what I remember. And of course, with Freddy's Bundle, you are getting Arizona Sunshine 2. And with over 3,000 people rating it, it scored 4.53 out of 5 stars, with 89% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And just be sure to skip back to the previous chapter if you want to learn more about this game. Don your gas mask, wield handmade weapons, and venture into the depths of this apocalyptic nightmare in Metro Awakening Deluxe Edition. And it's 56% off. Almost 3,000 people have rated it 4.41 out of 5 stars, with 85% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And what's really cool is that this is one of the most recent games to get the next-gen native compatibility for the bHaptics Tack Suit Pro and Tack Sleeves. This incredible piece of tech allows you to feel the sensation of holstering on your hips, to having your arms and torso soaking in the recoil of each blast, while also feeling the direction of your enemy's attacks along your body. This level of haptic immersion is insanely awesome. In the year 2028, the survivors of nuclear war cling to the existence in the buried subways of the Moscow Metro, which has become civilization's last refuge and tomb, where spirits haunt the living in this man-made purgatory. You are a doctor searching for your wife as you brave the crippling radiation, darkness, and deadly threats of the Metro, desperately trying to find the medication she needs. As your courage and sanity are pushed to the limit, you must learn to walk the line between life and death, the spiritual and the material world, and awaken the being you must become. And what you're getting with this package, obviously the base game and some goodies, as you're seeing a complete list right here. First, you're getting this VR concept art gallery, which isn't in the traditional two-dimensional flip art style that we've seen in every other video game. This is an actual VR environment that you're walking around and looking at some of the objects. I personally, again, haven't experienced this before, but what I'm seeing here on Reddit, that's exactly what it sounds like. So really cool implementation there. As well, you're getting the Nautilus hide backpack, skeletal gloves, toy charm, and the fallen patch. And from what I understand, this is only cosmetics. There are no actual bonuses for wearing these in-game. I think they're just skins altogether, but again, that has to do with the original Metro games. If you played them before, which I haven't, I can't speak to it. Get some sort of nostalgic flair from that, I'm not too sure. Go Signal, a Stellaris game, is a sci-fi action roguelite, and it's 80% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 85% off total. Over 560 people have rated it 4.45 out of 5 stars, with 88% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium or Deluxe member, you can check out the game for 30 minutes. And this is another action roguelike game. However, it's set in the Stellaris universe, where you captain your ship to battle a multitude of alien species. abilities, partake in dynamic space wars, encounter planet-sized creatures, gather valuable loot to conduct research, and more. No journey is the same. Expect these interstellar space battles where you're going to use the full artillery of the Aurora against enemy armadas. Loot or purchase power-ups like freeze rays, atomic missiles, or even dragon companions. The choice is yours. You're also going to scan exotic creatures for your logbook and conduct research in multiple tech trees. And also there's this asynchronous multiplayer allowing you to scavenge other players' deserted ships for valuables. That is awesome. And alongside the story mode, you're going to have these randomized maps make every session unique. Ghost Signal includes daily challenges with both global and local leaderboards to climb. And if you're unsure whether or not this game is for you, which I was up until I read that description to be honest with you, you can get Ghost Signal a Stellaris game demo for free on the PlayStation Store right now. Strike from the darkness and drink the blood of your prey in Vampire: The Masquerade Justice. And it's currently 80% off right now. Over 700 people have rated this, 4.16 out of 5 stars, with 78% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I can easily say this game is worth that at that sale price. This is an open-ended narrative adventure RPG set in the World of Darkness universe. And this game actually took me by surprise at how beautiful the cel-shaded cartoon looked in this awesome atmosphere located in Venice. The only real negative for me was around half the time the frame rate was just a little less than butter smooth, which you noticed when the game was already butter smooth. So it's not game breaking at all, but I'm playing on the Pro and I didn't notice any enhancements there. That said, this totally reminds me of a Batman where you hop from point to point above the enemy using a variety of skills as you earn experience in order to unlock even more abilities using a skill tree. Super cool. Now, without spoiling anything, this game took me over 10 hours to complete the campaign and I finished almost all the side missions, but I didn't even come close to getting all the collectibles. So yeah, I can easily recommend this at that awesome sale price. Swing through towering skyscrapers, battle deadly enemies, and fight to free Concord from the grip of oppression in Resist. And it's currently 45% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 50% off total. Almost 250 people have rated it, 4.56 out of 5 stars, with 89% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Nice. Explore the vast city of Concord while uncovering its secrets. Resist delivers a high-speed, story-driven open-world experience packed with kinetic swinging, intense combat, and deep RPG mechanics. Master fluid movement and take down enemies with skill as you level up and customize your abilities to refine your playstyle. You can even compete in skill challenges and prove your prowess with the online leaderboards. And what's really cool is that the game claims the PSVR2 version features ultra-smooth, seamless gameplay with 90Hz performance, has more immersive visuals with realistic reflections and shaders, along with full headset and sense haptics, coupled with the adaptive triggers and that beautiful OLED HDR display make this the ultimate version to play.
Okay.
I think Grandpa
How long has it been?
20 minutes.
Why did I agree to do this?
MADiSON is an immersive and terrifying first-person psychological horror game, and it's currently 40% off, featuring disturbing gameplay and an unsettling, compelling narrative. Almost 1,000 people have rated it, 4.57 out of 5 stars, with 89% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And I gotta say, these guys actually nailed the theme down. Not that I know anything from experience, but everything I've researched, they absolutely captured the essence of all of the lore and the theme behind this. So I really don't want to spoil this for you guys, because I do think part of the experience was not knowing anything about the game, jumping into it fully. That said, I am super excited to share with you guys. I did actually post a video called I Know the Best Way to Play MADiSON, and hands down, I do think that is the only way to play this game. I'm not going to get into it. Please remember, this is a flat screen game that was ported to VR, so all the objects in the rooms and stuff, you're not going to be able to interact with everything. Normally, you'd walk up to the area and see an icon, and then you know you can interact with it. Whereas in my video, I'm showing you how to turn all of that off. So I highly encourage you, if you're going to get this game and you want to play it the most immersive way possible, hands down, that is the way. That said, this game is not for everybody. It is the scariest game I have ever played, for sure. The most jump scares, the most panic attacks, essentially.
Oh! Yeah, that's awesome! Yeah, it's awesome!
So I just had to show the wife because she's totally petrified of the dark and avoids anything and everything scary. Months ago, before we got the second PSVR 2, she said she'd be willing to play anything in VR to support the channel, and that's before she knew that this game even existed. Awesome.
What's that? I don't like it, 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 I don't like it.
That said, the deal was she would play up until a certain save point and then continue if we could get 100 likes. And we're almost there at around 90 likes. And now I seriously need your help to support my endeavor here and go straight to that video right now and just click that like button to make her continue playing the game. And it's right when it's gonna get really intense. Vertigo 2 is a single-player action-adventure built from the ground up for VR, and it's currently 70% off right now. Over 1,000 people have rated it 4.31 out of 5 stars, with 81% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. This game has an incredible range of environments that makes Vertigo 2 a constantly fresh adventure. You'll have to face bizarre alien flora and fauna leaking from other universes. At 10 hours long, Vertigo 2 gives a full-fledged single-player experience with replayability that allows you to blaze through the game a second time, taking branching paths with brand new weapons, enemies, and bosses. And that sounds completely awesome. The only negative, and I mean the only negative I'm hearing about this game, is that it doesn't have a consistent smooth frame rate. But from what I understand, it's only inconsistent when it comes to the large open outdoor areas. I personally have not played this yet, but I'm very interested in getting this, and I did just get the PS5 Pro recently, and I did hear that it runs better on it, but I do believe everyone everywhere when they say that this game is a must-have if you own the PSVR2. Transport yourself to another realm and help this unique ecosystem in Paper Beast Enhanced Edition, and it's currently 70% off right now. Over 2,700 people have rated it 4.25 out of 5 stars, with 80% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 11% did give this 1 star. And from personal experience on the PSVR 1, what I loved about this is you're thrown into this world, not given any real instruction, and then you just have to play around and figure out your environment, and that's the puzzle. It's just figuring stuff out when you're thrown into the world. And this world is really messed up, really bizarre. As you're seeing here, you can discover these breathtaking landscapes. You're supposed to bond with majestic and intelligent creatures, guide them, confront dangers, and manipulate the environment. And unlike that PSVR 1 version, in the PS5, you are getting smooth locomotion, so no more teleport with that. Again, with that 4K HDR OLED display, every game looks incredible on the PSVR 2, and this cartoon is going to do that justice for sure. This now includes detailed textures and high resolution shadows, along with light shaft effects, extremely precise sand and water physics, and it includes a sandbox mode where the terrain is more expansive with an increased number of creatures and trees that become even more stunning over time. Interesting. You can play the game without your VR headset. I don't know why you would again. And being thrown into this mysterious world, quite literally, you're supposed to help this unique ecosystem and experience an extraordinary adventure. Somewhere in the depths of big data, a new world has been born. A surreal land where life is just as rich and varied as our own Earth. And that's the beauty of it. I just was literally thrown into this game, and you have to figure out what to do with what you see in front of you. I hear something. And the other most amazing multiplayer game everyone else needs to get. This is After the Fall Deluxe Edition, and it's 70% off. Over 1,400 people have rated it 3.96 out of 5 stars, with 73% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And with the Deluxe Edition, you are getting the exclusive PSVR 2 skin, the official soundtrack, and the digital art book. Right when loading the game, I was taken back knowing this is a PSVR 1 game, but they did just upgrade the whole thing, and it does look like a hybrid of PSVR 1 and PSVR 2 graphics. Like, it's got that clarity with this dynamic lighting and all these particle effects, and it looks really good. I mean, like, really good. If you didn't know, this game actually does have a free upgrade, so if you did buy this back in the day, man, you are going to want to pop this in and play this again for sure. Unlike the PSVR 1, this does include the PSVR 2 Sense haptics. You do feel that difference. Even when I'm rolling over an icon to selecting an object, I do feel that special haptic sensation. The adaptive triggers immediately noticeable, even with the guns to using a light gun on an arcade display cabinet there. The headset haptics, were immediately evident when I got hit in the head. The touch sensitivity was there right when I loaded the game. I could see all my fingers curling. The only one that didn't was the actual trigger finger. That's it. But I mean, come on. And as I'm sitting there getting a feel for the lobby, I'm hearing the music and I'm like, wow, this reminds me of Stranger Things. And then it dawns on me that this tech all around me is from the 80s. What a wicked aesthetic to everything. And then the soundtrack. So it is like the apocalypse happened in the late 80s or early 90s, and all that tech is still remaining there as you're you're exploring everything. I totally dig how they incorporated the lobby within the game instead of me feeling like I'm jumping into a multiplayer mode. You know, the game just has me in the lobby, but it doesn't feel like a lobby, if that makes sense. Again, what I didn't expect is, aside from the fun factor of playing the game, I got to play with 3 AI friends. I didn't want to jump in with anybody because I didn't want to screw with their game. Got a feel for everything, and the run itself, just what they call a harvest run. You're going out and you're trying to defeat as many zombies as possible, get as many points by defeating them. You see these little glowing orbs, roll over, just simply walk over it, collect it. After you've done a section of the game, you get to a safe house where you can recharge, use some of that currency you earned to buy boosters or health or whatever, but you're trying to keep as much of that as possible, so when you're done like 3 sections of that run, you return home and then you can upgrade your weapons to either new guns or new add-ons to the guns. And that whole section in that lobby is awesome, where you go in and you adjust your gun. Again, the whole theme, the whole aesthetic really did take me back. I wasn't expecting it to be so well done. But that free upgrade is only available to anyone that purchased this game before the launch of the PSVR 2. So if you do have the disc version on PS4, you can contact Vertigo directly, show them a proof of purchase, and they will honor it and give you that free digital upgrade. But yeah, unfortunately, anyone that did buy this after the launch of the PSVR 2, they will not honor it. It's only for those that did own this before the PSVR 2 launch, just as a heads up.
If the clock tower's so important, why stick it in the middle of the ocean?
Wait.
Clone your actions into endlessly repeating loops to build assembly lines and contraptions in this award-winning VR game, The Last Clockwinder, and it's currently 60% off. Over 600 people have rated it 4.41 out of 5 stars, with 76% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. In this game, you revisit the clock tower as an adult, and it's an ancient haven for the galaxy's plants. Use the Clockwinder's gloves to turn the actions you take into looping clockwork clones. They can do everything you can, from planting to cutting to throwing items through the air. Use their help to save the clock tower. And with this new mechanic, you're effortlessly creating your clones by simply acting them out, and then they just automatically mimic them afterwards. The idea here is you want to orchestrate a symphony of clones to work together to achieve efficient solutions to the Clockwinder's tasks. And if you're seeing what I'm seeing on screen here, I think you'll know whether or not this game is for you. Being honest, you know, I'd have to sit down and try it. Again, maybe I'll leave like I did with Toy Trains completely blown away, but yeah, I mean, this right away seems like a complicated puzzle game. But speaking to this critically acclaimed gameplay, this one Road to VR's 2022 PC VR Game of the Year, and they're quoted by saying, "We were entranced by its puzzles." So that says a lot for sure. And then you've got Hardcore Gamer's 2022 VR Game of the Year, one of the year's best VR games, allowing players to get immersed in this small yet magical world. And then Upload VR said, "A true delight and gem of a puzzle game." Again, Upload VR, I'm sorry, with the Bat Game of the Year, I can't hold that to any real merit just because I hate that game. But this one here, having those 2 other credentials speaking to it, absolutely now has me really intrigued.
There, he's awake.
The most incredible climbing simulator that wowed us from the very beginning, Horizon Call of the Mountain, is currently 29 to 34% off. Almost 11,000 people have rated it 4.38 out of 5 stars, with 84% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And like many others, this was my very first PSVR 2 experience, and I gotta say, even after seeing trailers for this game, until you put the headset on and see this for yourself, it really is hard to put into words other than out of this world. That said, coming out of both Horizon games on the flat screen, I do have to manage expectations and let everyone know that this is truly an amazing climbing simulator that captures the lore beautifully, but falls flat on the combat side of things compared to what we know Aloy is truly capable of when it comes to the flat screen experience. Especially now that I've played Hellsweeper, and I'm aware that Horizon's original mechanics could have been easily implemented here with no compromise whatsoever. Hellsweeper really is a testament of what's possible for combat in VR. What I didn't expect was the absolute sense of terror from my newfound fear of heights. No joke, this game pushed me hard, when many times I felt completely petrified, like paralyzed in fear from how real it felt at those heights.
Oh, fuck. I don't want to do that.
And that is absolutely incredible, as it goes to show you how the PSVR 2 is an entirely different experience altogether. I think the game took me about 8 hours to get through in completion, and I'm happy I finished it, but I do wish that combat was way more polished, as those sections actually made me feel like I was pushing through them than being excited for them. Still, again, it's an incredible experience. 90% of the game is just so awesome. The one thing I would recommend right off the bat is going into your settings and changing your aim style to have both hands instead of the eye tracking if you want the most realistic experience. Again, don't get me wrong, eye tracking is really cool, but here it's essentially auto aim. You're just looking at the target and then you pull the bow and it always hits that spot, whereas when you have it for your both hands, that's simulating the real experience here. Captain Toonhead vs. the Punks from Outer Space is an over-the-top tower defense game, and it's currently 45% off right now. Only 64 people have rated this so far, 4.55 out of 5 stars, with 91% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. I have not played the game before, but from what I understand, you do play the traditional tower defense game in third-person mode, setting up your base, and then you go into first-person mode and actually do the action or the combat side of things here. VR Scout has said Captain Toonhead might be the most over-the-top VR game ever. As well, VR GameFAQs has said one of the best tower defense games I've ever played in VR. And shout out to Banana Joe in the comments last time that this was on sale, saying that they really enjoyed it, giving it a 7 out of 10, and were able to complete the story campaign in about 3 to 5 hours and are still playing it to get the last 2 trophies. This is the standard tower defense, but they like that you can shoot as yourself along with the other towers. Thanks so much for sharing your experience with us, Banana Joe. I'm very much appreciated. Swing yourself freely like a monkey in Toss, and it's currently 60% off. Almost 220 people have rated this, 4.3 out of 5 stars, with 85% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. The whole premise of the game is that you've simply crash landed on a cloud planet and need to collect parts to repair your ship as you launch yourself around 75 plus playground levels in 9 vibrant cloudscape biomes and rank up to become a Toss Master. It touts to be the VR game that uniquely captures agility, timing, and gamer skill required to play the beloved platformer classics. Try to race against the clock with Time Attack, find as many bananas as possible, or master as few grabs as possible each round. You can also compete socially by time and rank, and follow your friend's leaderboard's ghost, just like the Mario Kart time trials. And don't forget there's modifiers like Zero Gravity and Double Toss by becoming a Toss Master. I've only heard great things about this game whenever it's been on sale, and a few parents now have mentioned that it's a blast to play, passing the headset around with the kids. Let the music move as you catch notes, ride the rails, and dodge obstacles in Synth Riders, and it's currently 35% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 15% more, making it 50% off total. Over 1,700 people have rated it, 4.69 out of 5 stars, with 93% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium or Deluxe member, this game is no longer a part of your catalog. And just to reiterate that PSVR2 upgrade is such an amazing difference, I do feel that this game needs to be in every PSVR2 owner's library. And on top of that, this is yet another game that is natively compatible with the bHaptics tack suit and tack sleeves that will pump the music directly into your body. Just be sure to go into the settings under interface. At the very bottom, you'll have to turn on the bHaptics setting in order for it to work. For real, I can feel that shit. Each thing is in my pec and hands, sleeves. Wow. Love that tack sleeve feeling. And in the back. Oh, it's so neat feeling the back move as I'm moving. Yeah, as I'm scrolling through. The pec and the tack sleeve. Really quick, the game is super simple to play. You have 2 balls as your hands, 1 of each color. You have to connect that ball with the same color ball on screen. And then you have these tracks that you're just having the ball hit and you follow that track. Super simple stuff. However, when you hit a ball, connecting it and you hit it dead on, you'll get more points. And then you can add modifiers with force, giving you more points. So the more power you put into it, the more points you'll get out of it. When you see a yellow ball, all you're doing is connecting both hands together and that makes yellow. When you see a green ball, you get to choose left or right hand and you have to finish the rest of the greens with that same hand. That is it. That's the whole game, aside from dodging any panel that comes your way, forcing you to dance and move your body. And unlike any other game, I really felt that the more I danced with the music, because I don't dance at all in real life, the easier the game became. So instead of just, being rigid and stiff, you can see I just totally let go and all of a sudden everything started working. So amazing, so kick-ass, such a great workout, so much fun. If you love the Guitar Hero or Rock Band, you'll want to get Drums Rock, because it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 50% off total. Over 1,600 people have rated it, 4.26 out of 5 stars, with 78% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And if you're unsure whether or not the game is for you, definitely check out that Drums Rock free demo right now. And that's what I did, and I was able to get an actual sense of flavor of what the game felt like, and I was totally impressed with the actual haptics on the controllers, as well as the headset haptics. I didn't actually check out the eye tracking for the score, didn't play it it enough. But yes, this is sit down, pick up and play, instant action. Aside from the arcade aspect, the game actually does feature a full-fledged 4-hour campaign, and then fight 2 bosses along the way. Very cool.
Rokar has fallen. In its place, monsters and twisted spirits now thrive.
The arcade-inspired VR hack and slash Until You Fall is currently 50% off. Over 1,500 people have rated it 4.07 out of 5 stars, with 75% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 15% did give this 1 star. And I can totally speak to this from experience because I did play it all the way through on PSVR 1, made it right to that last boss, did not beat it, but was totally in love with the game after playing it. But it was really weird to get used to at first, and this is using it on PSVR 1, the old school mechanics. You actually had to time everything. There'd be these prompts on screen on where to block and when to slice for critical strike, and arrows on screen as well as to when to dodge. But the timing, the music actually just had this beautiful rhythm going on, and I started to catch on, and it was addictive, man. I mean, I really got into this game. This might be the time now to actually buy this game, especially if you've never played it before on PSVR 1. And yes, it is another roguelike where you're playing these levels over and over, but there are a certain amount of stages, and there is a boss at the end that I got to, didn't quite beat him. But as you progress, getting these new weapons and new upgrades, it really does change the whole game completely. So it was a lot of fun. I can recommend it. I've not played this on PSVR 2, and I was totally bummed again. No upgrade path. And I just have to mention, one of our community members, the Bad Tarot, piped in and said that they loved the game on the PSVR 1, but it was really hard. And on the easiest difficulty, they could barely pass the last boss, which I can attest to this because I couldn't, to be honest with you. They go on to say that the PSVR 2 is so much better. Not only did they beat every difficulty, but they got the platinum, and it all has to do with the superior version of the PSVR 2. They go on to say that this is an amazing game and ought to be judged by its functioning counterpart on the PSVR 2. Awesome. Thanks so much, The Bad Tarot, for sharing that with us, because I'm totally stoked to want to try this game out yet again. The most advanced combat system to ever grace a video game has done it again. Introducing the latest massive update, Obscura, in Hellsweeper VR, and it's 67% off. Almost 800 people have rated it 4.36 out of 5 stars, with 84% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. What's really cool is that this is one of the 18 games that is natively compatible with the bHaptics haptic suit and tack sleeves, giving you the most immersive experience possible.
So when I charge this, yes, I do feel that in my tack sleeve. How do I tell you guys? It brings out this chain, and then when I release it, it stays out like that. And then I can feel it snap back into my tack sleeve. And again, that back lateral muscle twitch, that is so kick-ass, honestly. Wow. You know, I thought it was neat before, but when you feel it like that, oh shit, seriously. So cool. So cool. Let's go, man. Oh man, that sound with the haptics and the hands and the back and the chest. So kick-ass.
And this has got to be the most incredibly complicated, awesome combat system I've ever played in any video game whatsoever. Quite literally, the more time that you put into this game, the more options you choose and play with, the more that this becomes an extension of your body. Legit, it took me about 5 or 6 hours of playing around just to get the actual controls that I wanted for this game, and it was well worth it. I legit now feel like John Wick in VR. It's incredible. And just to speak to this, I've literally put in approximately 30 hours into this game, and I've hardly scratched the surface. I keep sticking to the same weapons and guns and stuff because I'm still ranking them up. I'm still progressing in the game. And then there's a whole slew of other weapons that totally transform the entire game experience, literally, that I've yet to unlock and touch. And then there's the actual co-op mode where you can play with a friend and then combine your weapons and powers at the same time. Every time this game's on sale, I keep trying to show everybody how this is the most incredible combat system in any game I've ever played before. I keep telling people this is for the VR veteran. What I mean by that is you're not going to get motion sick. It's just that there's so many options to play this game. And the actual default controls, man, I totally hated, you know, jumping into the game right away. Had I just stuck with that, I would not have been playing with it more than for half an hour to an hour. And now with the latest patch, Obscura, you can finally poison your enemies with the new toxic magic ability, bringing a whole new set of nasty tricks to your arsenal. On top of that, you can now engage in combat completely inverted, fighting enemies upside down, along with reshaping your resources and giving your your ranged weapons a serious makeover. As well, you can now play Endless Mode cooperatively with your friends and save your progress after every 3 acts. Awesome. I've left a link in my description for the detailed patch notes if you want to check it out for yourself. VR Skater is designed from the ground up for VR to give you the most authentic, challenging, and immersive skating game ever. And it's currently 80% off right now. If you are a PlayStation Premium member, you can try the full game for an hour and a half, but almost 500 people have rated it 3.92 out of 5 stars, with 70% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 16% did give this 1 star. Feel like you're really skating with the most innovative input mechanics, allowing you the board control you've always dreamt of. Moving your hands in the same motions you would follow with your feet gives a perspective and level of control never before seen, and the sense of fulfillment experienced upon perfectly executing even the most basic tricks is something that never leaves you. I've personally never skated before, so I have no attachment to skateboarding whatsoever, but apparently this is going to help you master the art of street skateboarding, and you'll be guided through flip tricks, grab tricks, grinds, slides, and manuals, enabling you to conquer each of these skills to carve out skating lines and combos during game run, all of which each helps you rack up those points for that all-time high score. You'll skate across 7 stunning urban environments as well as the mega ramp. Test your mettle by launching yourself across the chasm. Enjoy experience points, medals, trophies, leaderboards, and the VR Skater Shop, where you can exchange your hard-earned XP and swap out your grip tape, trucks, wheels, and of course that all-important board artwork. And they do offer some DLC, some of those FX trucks there that you're seeing here, but it's not on sale currently, and they do have an extra map that's called the SL Pro Series Tour, and it's not on sale as well. However, you can get VR Skater Pro Bundle, and it's 70% off, and this bundle includes that base game with that SL Pro Series Tour, which is a bunch of maps, actually 5 brand new maps total, inspired by professional street skateboarding championships with smooth concrete terrain, as you're seeing right here. These are actual competitive arenas built for skateboarding indoors. Very cool. And with these maps, they bring with them new exciting game modes and mechanics, which that's all I can speak to. I have no idea what those are. Anyone in the comments section, if you do own the game and know what that's about, please let us know.
Life is a
Chernobyl Again is an adventure game that takes place in the 3D scanned Chernobyl exclusion zone for a more immersive and engaging experience. And it's currently 70% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 75% off total. Almost 200 people have rated it 3.29 out of 5 stars, with just over half of them giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, and just over a third of them did give this 1 or 2 stars. And I have to say, I finally did get my hands on this one, and want to say thanks to the developers for a game key, because I really appreciate it now that I can honestly say that I'm actually blown away as to how incredible this game looks and sounds.
That looks awesome. Wow. Looks so good.
The music, voice acting, sound effects, atmosphere, pretty much everything really surprised me. And of course, the native bHaptics support felt absolutely amazing, with the Tac-Suit Pro and Tac sleeves fully immersing me into this world.
Looks like all hell broke loose.
Things like feeling the radiation intensify all over my body, or placing an item in my inventory using that wristwatch feels so cool on the Tac sleeves.
Again, love the Tac sleeve, and with the Sense controller at the same time, man. Feeling that in my arm every time I put that in is so cool.
And every time you time travel, oh man, you're vibrating so hard, it really adds to that overall effect.
Just in time. Oh, that feels amazing. Seriously. Crazy cool.
That said, I really did enjoy this environmental puzzle game, and thought having those memories scattered throughout the world to find as collectibles was pretty cool. I ended up completing the story in approximately 7 hours of taking my time, and my only real gripe was that it felt like sometimes my gesture controls would not fully execute. Just to speak to this, near the beginning of the game you need to use a crowbar to open a door and advance. And later on you have to open a storage door, and both times I had difficulties trying to open these doors just using those gesture controls. So just those 2 negative instances, but the entire game itself again surprised me because the puzzles were challenging, and I actually played this all the way through in just a few consecutive sessions, with me having to charge the controller batteries again in order to play. So that's a really good sign, as I totally dug the theme and each level here. I do feel the bHaptics really did add to this game for me, as it does with so many other titles, and I love that the developers went that extra mile to implement it. Very cool. So I do think I can recommend this if you love the environmental puzzle games, especially if you have the bHaptics Tac-Suit Pro and Tac sleeves at this awesome sale price. Get ready to solve mankind's great, and in an awesome turn of events, YouTuber GameCado and developer Tuner Max have come together to bring you some more free DLC.
Hello there 90s fans, it's developer Kalle, here with GameCado to try out the new crazy intense Oktobershreds DLC. Watch this!
I think I'm gonna need a bigger kitty litter.
Extreme skiing!
Continues to deliver with even more content with its recently released free Oktobershreds DLC, and the game is currently 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 150 people have rated it 4.16 out of 5 stars, with 79% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 12% did give this 1 star. This exclusive PSVR title boasts crystal clear visuals with a 90Hz refresh rate for a seamless, streamlined skiing experience you can't get anywhere else. With this new Oktobershreds DLC, you're getting 10 new races from the previous 20, which feature the steepest, fastest, and most thrilling tracks in the game. As well, 10 new leaderboards to conquer from the previous 20, and 3 new PlayStation Network trophies to add to your collection. And to top it off, there are 10 new music tracks that are of the finest beer tent techno variety, as you're hearing a sample of the music in the background right now. Man, what an impressive amount of additional content now included with this game. That said, don't forget you can actually play this in multiplayer mode with up to 3 other friends with full avatars, which I'll be doing this with the wife. I've personally never skied before in real life, but everyone everywhere that does ski has only praised the innovative controls, game mechanics, and fun factor this game provides.
Oktobershreds free DLC update launching 10/10.
10/10? Like 10 out of 10? I see what you did there. Take note, YouTubers. Take note.
Your next great adventure awaits with 3 VR tabletop games in one, with the Demeo Ultimate Bundle, and it's currently 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. This collection brings together the all-new Demeo Dungeons & Dragons Battle Marked, along with the original award-winning co-op Demeo and the fast-paced competitive action of Demeo battles into one legendary bundle. And the most recent game is a perfect match made in heaven. The world's greatest role-playing game and the coolest VR RPG board game have come together in Demeo Dungeons & Dragons Battle Marked. Already, over 380 people have rated it 4.31 out of 5 stars, with 83% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 11% did give this 1 star. Personally, I've only sunk in about 2 hours into this, but I can easily say that I can recommend this as a guy that loves the D&D miniatures and terrain. So much so, I actually have another YouTube channel based on it. This game fits beautifully with the Demeo game mechanics, with up to 4 players to tackle these adventures together, or you can play single player and command your entire party in skirmish mode. If you do love the D&D, I highly recommend you get this, as it's a total pick up and play love letter to the fans, especially if you can game share with a friend, as it really is a lot of fun having someone to play the story with. And speaking of which, there are 2 campaigns at launch featuring familiar locations such as Neverwinter Wood, Cragmaw Castle, Spine of the World, and more, with additional DLC adventures on the horizon. And like the original Demeo, every run changes, keeping every session fresh. Choose between 6 distinct D&D inspired character classes: Fighter, Paladin, Rogue, Ranger, Sorcerer, and Bard, each with their own unique abilities, cards, and specialized roles. And what's really awesome is that you'll actually gain experience points to level up your characters as you progress through the story, upgrading their cards with more abilities using their own skill trees. It can actually be overwhelming at first, but don't worry, it's not complicated, as this truly delivers quick pick up and play action for players of every level, and instantly throws you into the action using a tutorial that actually feels like a real scene from an adventure instead of a chore, which is amazing. And also, don't forget, if you want to check out my other channel, I put a link in my description if you dig the D&D miniatures and terrain. Assemble your party of miniatures, play action cards, and vanquish monsters with the roll of a die in this award-winning tactical tabletop RPG, Demeo. Over 860 people have rated it 4.51 out of 5 stars, with 88% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And just to reiterate, you can totally play this alone, which I did, or cooperatively, featuring crossplay, which supports up to 4 players. And yes, I can already recommend this from my personal experience, and I've only played the single player mode, and oh my, I have to say, it checks all the boxes of not just hitting the nostalgia, but hitting the fun factor in a small, well put together, polished package. Because this is a board game experience, you are choosing your pawns, which is your class of character, which does come with its own set of cards uniquely to that class.
You can play Demeo in 2 ways. Either gang up with a few friends, 2 to 4 of you together for a nail-biting co-op run. Or go it alone in skirmish mode, where you'll control 3 champions.
It is time!
Planning your path through a floor and working together is a must if you hope to survive all the way to the end. You'll have to fight through several dusky floors of the Elven Necropolis. On each floor, there's a monster holding a key. You'll need that key to open the floor exit and proceed to the next floor below. And there'll be plenty of other monsters to fight along the way. The game is turn-based, which means all champions take a turn, spending action points to move, attack, open doors, and so on.
And what's really cool is that each class can only move a certain amount of spaces based on their speed, and they can roll that die once to attack generically, and that costs 1 action point.
You have 2 action points to spend each turn.
And notice the cost at the top of each card. Some of them don't cost anything, and you can use another card costing 1 action point.
And then the enemies do their thing. Attacks and card outcomes are resolved with a die roll. You'll either hit, do a crit. Crit means critical hit,
which just means double damage.
And if you miss, your attack might hit something else nearby,
including friends.
Spells, special attacks, and other items are all represented by cards. You'll start with a few cards on hand. You can find more in chests spread out across the floors. Or earn them by defeating enemies and increasing your card meter. There's also gold for you to gather. I'll be here to greet you in between each floor. My bazaar comes fully stocked, and at bargain prices too. I'm happy to buy any card you don't want, at a reasonable price. Reaching the final boss isn't easy, and it's not meant to be. Beating that stinking abomination will earn you plenty of bragging rights. Until someone else does it faster, that is. So, get your friends together, choose your champions, dive in, and above all, have fun.
Let the battle commence!
Now you can take everything you love about Demeo and compete against each other in Demeo Battles VR. Only 79 people have rated this version, 4.2 out of 5 stars, with 79% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 14% did give this 1 star. This 1 to 4 multiplayer online competitive turn-based strategy game features over 10 maps tailored for intense player versus player combat. Unlike Demeo, Demeo Battles VR has you assemble an army of monsters to fight alongside you. From rats and goblins to cave trolls to giant slimes, a cast of over 30 plus creatures to choose from, all with a mind of their own. This instantly reminds me of Farpoint's 1 vs 1 online multiplayer mode, where you would spawn monsters to fight with you, and it worked beautifully back in the day. In this game, each battle is 2 vs 2, where you can choose to control both champions on a team, or you can partner with a friend to compete against another team. Sounds awesome. To begin, choose a champion to match your playstyle with over 80 cards to purchase with coins when you enter the arena to build a unique loadout of monsters. Sharpen your skills for tactical triumph with over 60 single player challenges before you battle it out online in ranked mode, with average matches lasting just under 20 minutes. That's really interesting because I do remember Demeo could easily take a couple hours each session, so I'm really interested to see how this one plays out. And what's awesome is that it does include cross-play support to ensure that you'll always have a game to play. Right on. Anyone that owns it, plays it, loves it, or hates it, please let us know in the comment section whether or not we should grab this at that sale price. The makers of the award-winning flat-screen puzzle game Manifold Garden have recently made another environmental puzzle game that was built from the ground up for room-scale VR, and they're currently bundled on sale together in Manifold Garden and Hotel Infinity Bundle, and it's currently 15% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 20% off total. Hotel Infinity is a room-scale first experience designed entirely around physical movement where you'll walk around the winding halls and grand ballroom of a mysterious hotel using your own 2 feet. Only 31 people have rated this so far, 4.39 out of 5 stars, with 90% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And you do this by exploring these vast areas by physically walking around your play area by using a seamless blend of portals, lifts, and possibly winding hallways and other architectural deceptions. The hallways aren't the only impossible feature of Hotel Infinity, as some of the hotel secrets are buried deeper than physics would normally allow by encouraging the player to explore their space in room scale mode. Every corridor leads somewhere you've never been, and no room is ever quite the same. Don't worry, there are alternative locomotion controls for those that aren't able to play in room scale VR. But in order to play that room scale mode, you will need over 6.5 feet by 6.5 feet of play space. And the general consensus online is that if you enjoy the environmental puzzle games, then you're absolutely going to fall in love with this game. And the other flat screen game that is not VR compatible that comes with this bundle is called Manifold Garden. 570 people have rated it 4.71 out of 5 stars, with 94% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. Rediscover gravity and explore a beautiful Escher-esque world of impossible architecture in a game that reimagines the laws of physics. This beautiful world is filled with mind-bending puzzles where geometry repeats infinitely in every direction, and falling down leads you back to where you started. Manipulate gravity to change your perspective and see the world in new ways while walking on any surface. Master the rules of the universe and restore a barren world with vegetation and life. Now, I'd never heard about this game before, but it has been nominated for several awards, including Best Debut from the Game Developers' Choice Awards and the BAFTA Awards, and it was also selected as one of the New Yorker's Best Games of 2019 and is one of the Design Museum's Designs of the Year for 2020. Bend and twist reality in this VR puzzle adventure, A Fisherman's Tale, and it's 67% off. Almost 800 people have rated it 4.38 out of 5 stars, with 87% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And yes, back in the day, I have not played it on PSVR 2. It was a lot of fun on PSVR 1. It was a Russian doll-based environmental puzzle game where you're seeing yourself in the micro and macro version and having to work with yourself to solve the puzzle. So very cool concept back in the day. Loved it. I do believe this would be just as fun, if not look much better, on the PSVR 2, and the tracking. You can use your whole body to turn. That's probably going to work, I would assume. But I don't know if I can recommend anyone getting it nowadays with all the different games going on, even during this sale. But if you want this and the latest game released on the PSVR 2, they currently have the Fisherman's Tales Bundle, and it's 67% off. And with this bundle, you are getting A Fisherman's Tale and A Fisherman's Tale 2. And with the sequel, over 300 people have rated it 4.11 out of 5 stars, with 77% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And what makes this one unique is that you solve puzzles using your own body, detaching and controlling your limbs, and finding new attachments to progress throughout the game. Dyschronia Chronos Alternate Bundle is a collection of 3 episodes in one, and it's 70% off right now. 140 people have rated it 4.24 out of 5 stars, with 78% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. You live in Astrum Close, an artificial marine city sealed off from the outside world under a vast dome. This safe haven is seen as the last paradise for humanity as it stands on the brink of destruction. Astrum Close is a scientifically advanced city that has a 0.001% crime rate. Revolutionary new technology predicts crime before it ever happens, thanks to the tireless efforts of city founder Albert Rumford. But the very foundations of Astrum Close are shaken when Rumford himself is found murdered in a crime that by all rights should have not been possible. Your name is Halcyon, and you are an investigator with a difference. You are known as a variant human, a person who has the unique ability to both see into and alter the past. And your unique skills are exactly what is needed now. But if you're unsure and you don't want to get the entire package and you want to buy the individual episodes, you can, with episode 1 currently at 70% off. But from everything I'm reading, the entire game actually picks up at the end of episode 1, and it really starts to get going on episode 2, and that is currently on sale at 70% off. And of course, they are offering episode 3 at 70% off as well. But just saying, again, everyone everywhere who has played Dyschronia has said just get the alternate bundle. Don't waste your time getting the individual episodes. Ever wondered what it's like to be an electrician? Well, wonder no more, because Electrician Simulator VR is currently 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 110 people have rated it 3.9 out of 5 stars, with 72% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 19% did give this 1 star. And I gotta say, I'm really curious to see what this game actually feels like using the natively compatible and incredibly cool bHaptics tack suit and tack sleeves, because I'm assuming you'll physically feel jolted when things go awry. Awesome. Repair outlets and switches, lay cables in the walls, and connect electrical appliances. But don't forget about the fuses, because an encounter with electricity can be very dangerous. Buy the necessary items to perform tasks in different ways. Install lamps, replace bulbs, but just be careful not to break anything or you'll have to pay out of your own pocket. And they now have all the DLC individually on sale, starting with Toys Repair, and it's 45% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 50% off total. Dive into a whole new kind of repair work, fixing electronic toys. In this playful DLC, you'll troubleshoot and repair quirky gadgets like a remote-controlled robot, levitating drone, and even a haunted EMF detector. Yes, ghosts might be involved. The next DLC, Smart Devices, is currently 45% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 50% off total. Learn how to work with wireless connections by installing smart home tech. Set up motion sensors, smart switches, RGB bulbs, and much more in fully interactive environments. And the last DLC, Skin Pack, is currently 45% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 50% off total. This pack includes new visual skins for your hands, cable bundles, cable detector, and the in-game watch. Now, if you want to get the base game bundled with all of that DLC, you can get the complete edition, and it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 45% off total. Very interesting, and I'm definitely going to have to get my hands on this one just because it has the bHaptics tack suit and tack sleeve compatibility.
Hello? Philip!
One of the most brilliant point-and-click puzzle games I've seen in years just came out of nowhere and stumped me pretty hard from the get-go. This is Retropolis 2 Never Say Goodbye, and it's 38% off. Over 140 people have rated it 4.46 out of 5 stars, with 87% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And even though this is a sequel, you do not need to have played the original game to appreciate the simple point-and-click cartoon, solving environmental puzzles with multiple scenes connected for complexity. Using Philip Logg's extendo arms, the player is able to collect items from afar, use them to overcome obstacles, and move the plot forward. And get this, the entire game has been meticulously hand-painted within the VR space, boasting an astonishing 2.5 million virtual brushstrokes, making every moment a stunningly detailed piece of art. Startenders is an intergalactic bartending simulator, and it's currently 80% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 90% off total. Over 140 people have rated it 3.9 out of 5 stars, with 70% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 10% did give this 1 star. Abducted by accident and enrolled in the Startenders Bartending Academy, you'll have to shake, slice, and serve to survive until you find a way to escape. Use your skills to create delicious concoctions to serve to your alien patrons. Use wacky machines and even wackier ingredients to earn your way home. Unlock those new machines to build and strange ingredients to create your own drinks altogether. Visit colorful locations across the galaxy or hang out in the habitat. Make and name your own custom drinks for customers to buy, and compete on the intergalactic leaderboards in daily play. Right on. I've personally never played the game before, but I am seeing this other DLC or update that they've released with this new mode. I'm not sure if it's this infinite replayability or what, but this may be totally worth it at that sale price. Again, anyone in the comments section, if you own it, love it, hate it, played it, whatever, let us know what you think. Kayak VR Mirage is a jaw-dropping and exhilarating journey through beautiful locations, and it's currently 30% off. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium or Deluxe member, this game is no longer a part of your catalog. Over 3,000 people have rated it 3.71 out of 5 stars, with 61% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I can totally speak to this because I do think it looked amazing. But if you were expecting some sort of game, it really isn't. I feel like, you're going through these beautiful locations on a kayak and it looks photorealistic, legit. I was quite blown away, to be honest with you, how everything just looked. What I wasn't anticipating is the movement in the water bobbing up and down. I'm a VR veteran, but I did get a subtle bit of motion sickness, not actually wanting to puke or anything like that. But yes, definitely thrown off within half hour of playing. But the game totally offers comfort
comfort settings, so you don't have to worry about that. I just think I left it at the utmost realistic that I possibly could. But I did go through each location, and again, they were beautiful, but after going through once, I was kind of like, eh. But just recently, they did release the new patch that includes the full multiplayer mode with the full avatar. You know, they're not these cartoony looking characters. They look like real people, so that's really cool that they spent the time and actually made that look amazing. This whole time, I thought the multiplayer mode was racing against somebody at all times, but no, it looks like you can casually just hang out with each other as you're going through the courses. So really cool that they did this. Awesome. And they do let you know you can optionally connect your controllers to a stick to give it more of an immersive feel. So when I go to play this again, I'm going to try and do that if I can. But if you want even more content, they're currently offering Soka Valley bundled with the base game at 25% off. However, if you already own the base game, you can get the DLC by itself at 30% off. If Soka Valley doesn't interest you and you want the latest Yucatan DLC, you can get that bundled with the base game instead at 25% off. However, if you already own the base game, you can get the DLC by itself at 30% off. But if you want everything the game has to offer, you can now get the complete edition at 30% off. But honestly, if you just compare the prices for all three bundles, you can clearly see the complete edition is by far the best way to go, as it's only $1 or $2 more to spend to get all the DLC versus those two other bundles mentioned a second ago. Whether you're looking to understand your pet, preparing for exams, or studying biology, Animal Anatomy VR is the ultimate app for learning, and it's currently 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. Only 11 people have rated it so far, 4.91 out of 5 stars, with everybody giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. This app makes learning about animals fun, interactive, and engaging. Starting with complete dog and cat models, with more species along the way, every structure is anatomically detailed and visually stunning. Used by students, universities, professionals, and enthusiasts in over 180 countries, learning becomes vastly more intuitive with the user-friendly design, and it clearly demonstrates that this app was built by veterinary professionals and medical advisors. And what's really cool is that you can cut through models in real time to see hidden layers from any angle, and you can relive the whole Honey I Shrunk the Kids theory in ant mode, where you shrink down to 40 times smaller to see everything from the inside out. Nice. And to top this off, you can test your knowledge with customizable anatomy quizzes and much more.
Let's find out what you're made of.
Step into the ring and immerse yourself in the pulse-pounding excitement of cinematic boxing with Creed Rise to Glory Championship Edition, and it's 60% off, which is actually cheaper than paying that upgrade fee if you own this on the PSVR1. Over 2,100 people have rated it 3.83 out of 5 stars, with 70% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 16% did give this 1 star. For me on the PSVR1, it was incredible to play anything like that, to be able to stand on the spot, duck, dodge, weave, punch, uppercut, and hit with accuracy. Actually get a full-fledged workout just being in the gym, not even boxing somebody online. The one takeaway I really disliked about the first one is you did have to use your hands like a speed bag to go forward and to go backwards. And I understand you didn't have any joysticks on the PSVR1 to do that, so it was intuitive at the time. The fact that I can use these joysticks now moving backwards and still blocking and throwing punches, man, that sounds amazing. And to think this is 4K HDR OLED display, there is a substantial upgrade to this game. And for those of you that didn't know what this game was about, you literally are playing Creed from the movies and you're training with Rocky Balboa, literally having these training exercises in the gym, legit awesome exercises, and then based on your performance on your training, you'll have more stamina going into your next boxing fight. So it's not just sake of doing these practice runs, it's forcing you to do really well in your practice so you're actually better in your boxing match altogether, which is an awesome mechanic. Seriously, very cool. And it tires you out before you go to face the character next time, so it's crazy. It gets you to actually slow down. And unlike the PSVR1, again, this does have cross-platform support, which is integral to, to have somebody to fight online. That was one of the big problems on PSVR1. In order for me to get that platinum, I needed to beat somebody online, and it ended up being my wife.
Orders are waiting for you. Items.
Workshop Simulator VR has you take on the role of a workshop owner equipped with a range of specialized tools, and it's currently 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. Only 43 people have rated this so far, 4.47 out of 5 stars, with 86% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Very interesting.
In this game, or simulator I should say, you're going to take on increasingly complex tasks that will have you disassemble, clean, sand, polish, reassemble, and painting each item to full restoration, earning you money, allowing you to buy new tools and replenish your resources. Expand your workshop with even more tools at your disposal as you build your reputation and earnings based on the quality of your work. Very cool. Now, the first-person shooter that is for everyone, apparently, this is Sugar Mess. Let's play Jolly Battle. It's 20% off currently. And as you can see here, this is a total cartoon paradise, and it claims to be a fun arcade first-person shooter for the whole family. Kind of sounds weird to say that, but yeah, it does make sense. You're going to embark on a journey through the amazing levels of the Sugar Kingdom. Make use of the vast arsenal of weapons that get stronger as you use them. Challenge mighty bosses and use their weak spots to defeat them. Or you can use special items to gain an advantage over your opponents. Other exciting activities are awaiting you, including solving challenging puzzles, riding in a unique vehicle around the kingdom, as well as feeling the rhythm and participating in musical performances. Fend off the attacks of the hilarious yummy enemies that shatter into pieces upon impact. Dive into a fairy tale world and find out the exciting story of the Sugar Prince and his mysterious enemy. And what's really cool, if you're totally unsure whether or not this is for you, me included, you can get the Sugar Mess Let's Play Jolly Battle demo for free on the PlayStation Store right now. It's not only a video game, it's real tennis. This is Tennis on Court, and it's 67% off. Over 300 people rated it 3.4 out of 5 stars, with 56% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 21% did give this 1 star. Claiming to have real tennis engineers working on the game, everything from the racket, all the tennis equipment is used by top players on the ATP and WTA tours. You're gonna lift, slice, drop shot, retro, perform all those effects and feel like a real tennis player. At the core gameplay, you do have arcade or realistic. That's awesome that you can choose between that. Very cool. You do have 3 different types of moving, such as teleport, automatic, and manual. Interesting about the automatic, I'm assuming it snaps you right to where you need to be to swing that ball. That is a very cool option for those of you that don't want to have to move your joystick. Very neat. 13 rackets with different characteristics to match with your playstyle. You're going to get 6 incredible stadiums with different evolution surfaces such as clay, grass, and hard. As well, you'll have 5 assists to help you to perform. Service hit assist, position assist, ball trajectory correction, and more. And there's also a spectator mode to watch your friends or future opponents performing in live. So even though this game claims to be all about the realism, the simulation aspect, from everything I'm hearing in the past, when you're playing somebody online, the negative here is that you're seeing their avatar react like half a second later. So the ball will be hit and then you see the rubber banded arm move and you kind of get thrown off by it and then you're swinging too late or something. And I have to give a shout out to Cuspin for the heads up last time that this game was on sale. If you play someone that is relatively close to your location, or better yet, in the same home, you won't have the same latency issues that have been reported by other reviewers that were playing someone across the globe. Thanks so much, Cussman. I appreciate that because I am genuinely curious to play this using the game sharing feature with the wife. Umurangi Generation VR is Pokemon Snap for this generation, and it's 50% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 60% off total. Only 46 people have rated this 3.91 out of 5 stars, with 72% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 22% did give this 1 star. Experience the award-winning creative sandbox photography game in VR. Make use of VR for a more personal experience by observing the doom and gloom swirling across your sights, move around and interact with the environment in a more natural manner. Off the back of an impending crisis, life is bleak for those living in the city. As a courier and an avid photographer, you have the freedom to travel around the city to document the impending doom through the lens of your camera. In VR, you can move around and interact with the environment in a more natural manner. And unlike the standard non-VR version, you get to dress yourself in the skin of your choice and get the attention of people around you with a simple snap of your fingers and pose with gestures and photos and selfies. The game presents you with a list of objectives called photo bounties. Simply snap away to complete all photo bounties before delivering the parcel to proceed to the next stage. Each photo you take will be judged on its color, content, and composition. However, with a strong emphasis on the freedom to expression, the game does not set rules on what makes a good or bad photo. Take and edit photos with the various tools available to you to produce your own unique snaps. The whole point is for you to explore and have fun with your creative side. Awesome, but I really can't help but relate this to Pokemon Snap back in the day on the N64. And if you love the Umurangi generation, you can get the flat screen and the PSVR2 bundled together, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 60% off total.
Shit!
And yet another absolute must-have for every PSVR2 owner, you can get the Resident Evil Gold Edition at 70% off. Over 51,000 people have rated it 4.65 out of 5 stars, with 91% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And just like Resident Evil 4, the game does not have that VR mode built in, so you do need to go to the PlayStation Store, find Resident Evil Village, go all the way down till you see add-ons, click that VR mode, install it, then load the game up and you're ready to go. But unlike the standard edition, this Gold Edition at 60% off does include a whole plethora of extras that some of it does work in VR, and we're going to go over this really quick. In the Gold Edition, you are getting the Trauma Pack DLC, and with that, it does include the Samurai Edge AW Model 01, and that is available in VR, as well as the Resident Evil 7 found footage filter, and that is not available in VR as that's for the flat screen experience only. You're getting the Resident Evil 7 tape recorder save point. Unfortunately, that is not in VR. You're getting Safe Room Music Go Tell Aunt Rhody, that is in VR, as well as the Mr. Everywhere weapon charm, that is in VR as well. And with this Trauma Pack, you'll immediately unlock the Village of Shadows difficulty. And I do not know whether or not that Village of Shadows difficulty is available in VR. Anybody in the comments section, if you've played this, please let us know whether or not we can do this in VR. If not, I'm going to have to check it out sooner than later and let everybody know. You're also getting the Tragedy of Ethan Winters artwork and the Baker Incident Report, which are not available in VR. But the most important part of the Gold Edition that you're getting here is the Winters expansion. And there are 3 main modes to this game, and they're not available in VR, unfortunately. The first one is the ability to play the game in third-person mode. This is the classic Resident Evil 4 where you're seeing yourself in third person, but man, I gotta say, if you're a huge fan of the Resident Evil series, you probably will want to check this out. As well, this includes the Mercenaries additional orders, and just like the Resident Evil 4, this is a separate minigame where it's all about your skills in these time-based challenges. But unlike Resident Evil 4, this one includes 3 new characters, including the towering Lady Dimitrescu, as well as Heisenberg from what I'm seeing here in the trailer. I do not know that third one. Anyone in the comments section, if you want to let us know, that'd be great. But the most significant part of this DLC is called Shadows of Rose, and this is a new scenario starring the grown-up Rose, Ethan's beloved daughter, who was kidnapped as a baby, that kicked off the original Village story. And just showing you real quick the rating that this actual DLC received, I am assuming that is the Shadows of Rose DLC, that is that extra storyline plot. I do wish that was in VR like Daughters on Resident Evil 7. Don't know why they didn't do that. That would have been really cool to play. And speaking of which, the next DLC is again not in VR, but I didn't even know this existed until I did these sales videos. In the base game, you do get for free Resident Evil Reverse. This is an online multiplayer game that you play against your friends where you're fighting each other as teams. Then whoever dies, they spawn into these monsters and now they're attacking you. I've never played before, again, not in VR, will never play this. It even says in the description that the online service does not last forever, and at any time this game could go offline, so heads up. And for all of you that are unsure whether or not the Resident Evil Village is for you, I highly recommend you do get the gameplay demo for free on the PlayStation Store right now. And the other 2 must-have Resident Evil games are currently bundled together. Resident Evil 7 Gold Edition and Village Gold Edition are 75% off. And that is including Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Gold Edition, all of the DLC that was included. Even though you cannot play any of this stuff on your PSVR 2, there is a rumor going around that this is going to be remastered for the PSVR 2. I can't confirm that for sure, but if you don't already own the game, this might be the time to actually get it. And unlike Resident Evil 4 and 8, Resident Evil 7 had most of the DLC available in VR, and they were excellent. I remember playing all of it. It was so amazing. Daughters was my absolute favorite, giving you the origin story of how Eve actually arrived at the Baker family. This bundle also features Resident Evil Village Gold Edition, which does include many extras such as the Trauma Pack, Winter's Expansion, and Resident Evil Reverse. Just be sure to go back a few minutes if you want to see all of the content that's included with this Gold Edition. But of course, the next game that needs to be in every PSVR 2 library, we're talking about Resident Evil 4, and it's 60% off right now. Over 121,000 people have rated it 4.74 out of 5 stars, with 92% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Incredible. And just speaking from experience again, I've never played this game before in the past whatsoever. This was my first experience in VR on the PSVR 2, and I gotta say, man, I was blown away. And what I mean by that is, unlike Resident Evil Village, village. This game does take that classic video game challenge formula and then reinvents it in VR with all these zombies running at me at full room scale. What I absolutely loved about this game is it is a testament to taking a traditional video game, literally with all of the challenges, and not compromising it whatsoever for the VR medium. If anything, only enhancing it, giving you more freedom to actually move and dual wield. Spinning your body around in full life-size room scale VR is just an experience you cannot get on the flat screen, literally. But before I get ahead of myself, I do have to let everybody know when you go to buy this game, it does not have that VR mode initially locked into it. You do have to go to the PlayStation Store, find Resident Evil 4, go all the way down, you're going to see add-ons there, and then you're going to see the Resident Evil 4 VR mode. Click that, download it, install it, then jump into the game. And real quick, I do have to show you right now, in order to play this game in full room scale VR, you do have to go to the settings I'm showing you right here.
So when you hit your options button, go to options, VR controls, locomotion, controller. Pressing forward, looking around, I'm still able to move forward, guys. Still able to pull back and look around without him moving the body. When I press forward and move my body completely, look, he's turning around. It knows. It knows.
As well, you can download another free add-on called The Mercenaries, but it's not in VR. Over 740 people rated it 4.5 out of 5 stars, with 84% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And this game mode is all about racing against the clock and battling your way to the top of the leaderboards. And for those of you that are still on the fence as to whether or not this game is for you, I highly recommend that you get the gameplay demo on the PlayStation Store right now. But if you want everything that Resident Evil 4 has to offer, VR and flat screen, you can get the Resident Evil 4 Gold Edition at 60% off. That said, when you do go to play this in the VR mode and you did just grab this Gold Edition, there are a lot of DLC extras here that you cannot use in VR. And the first one being the most important here, this is called Separate Ways. This is a side story with Ada Wong. Over 1,200 people have rated it 4.79 out of 5 stars, with 94% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Before any US agent had even set foot in the Cursed Village, she was there. Her mission? The retrieval of the cult's darkest secret, the Amber. Separate Ways, the missing link in the main story, is a thrilling survival horror adventure starring Ada Wong. See the other side of the story from her eyes as her mission and fate intertwines with Leon Kennedy's a second time. And speaking of which, the next big one is the Resident Evil 4 Extra DLC pack. This one comes with a slew of items here, and I'm going to go over each one so you know what works in VR and what doesn't. The first one here is Leon's sunglasses, and I thought they were just an aesthetic where you see it on the actual person in-game, but no, it actually does affect gameplay. I did not know this, so props to Percy for letting us know that in Resident Evil 4, the sunglasses make you immune to flashbangs. I never would have thought of that. And in the PlayStation Store description, you can see here, it talks about protecting your baby blues from the sun and other pesky monsters with these sunglasses. It could help you with other things that I'm totally unaware of. Again, anyone in the comments section, please pipe in, let me know if I'm missing anything. That'd be awesome. And in order to actually put these sunglasses on, you do go to the pause menu in the extra section there. That's where you can actually change up your stuff. And it does say right here that the sunglasses can be used in both the main game and the Separate Ways DLC. But remember, the Separate Ways DLC is not in VR. And the next thing you're getting here is the Sentinel-9. I love using pistols. I didn't look at the actual description before, and it says it's a fully customized handgun for tackling bioterrorism. You know, that means nothing to me, other than it boasts both accuracy and versatility, making it the reliable choice. Anyone in the comment section, if you can speak to this, do you feel an actual gameplay difference by using this pistol over the default one we have in the game here? And in order to access this, it says deluxe weapons can be claimed from the storage menu at the typewriter, the save point there. But unlike the sunglasses, this can be used in the main game, but not the Separate Ways DLC. And just like the pistol, same idea here, you're getting another version of the shotgun called the Skull Shaker. And quite simply, it does say it's a sawed-off stock and barrel, so you are allowing for excellent maneuverability and handling. Again, anyone in the comment section, if you've been playing with both shotguns, can you let us know whether or not that's actually a gameplay difference? And same idea here, again, all deluxe weapons you do have to claim at the typewriter, but this can only be used in the main game and not the Separate Ways DLC. And when it comes to the costumes, you're getting a casual set for both Leon and Ashley, but unlike the pistol and the shotgun, you can use the costumes in the main game and the Separate Ways DLC. And all you have to do to access that, you just hit the pause button and go into the extras menu and you'll see all your costumes in there. And the next one that you're getting here is the romantic set for both Leon and Ashley. Same idea, just go in the extras, change it up. Of course, all costumes can be used in both the main game and the Separate Ways DLC, but this costume and filter, the costume can be used, again, just like the other ones, in the main game and the Separate Ways, but the filter is not VR compatible. When it comes to the filter, that's a 2D flat screen experience, and what you're seeing here, this is an actual image of the before and after. So personally, when I'm seeing this, it looks really washed out. I'd rather just the original look altogether. And the next costume and filter they're offering, same idea, you can only use the costume. Again, you're getting the villain version, which quickly showing you here, this is the actual filter, and I feel like it looks kind of red and orangey. It doesn't look as good as the original version, so I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm not seeing it on my screen, but yeah, I can't recommend any of this stuff, to be honest with you. But the one thing that does sound really cool to me is the original soundtrack swap. I did not play this game back in the day in 2004 or whenever it was on the PS2, I can't remember. But for those of you that have and have this nostalgic attachment to it, it's so cool that you can just go into your extras menu and then switch that to the original soundtrack, and I believe all of the action sounds like the guns and sound effects and everything, so that's really neat. But that said, you can only use this in the main game for Resident Evil 4. It does not work in the Separate Ways DLC. You're also getting a treasure map expansion, which the game does include a treasure map to begin with. This simply just adds more treasures to the existing map and some additional treasures that weren't in the game to begin with. And you can simply confirm that by looking at your original map once you've installed this stuff. And this expansion only works for the main game of Resident Evil 4, not for the Separate Ways DLC. However, you can use the items that you've accumulated in the main game from the treasure map and bring them over to Separate Ways. So that's cool. But yeah, that's what they're saying here in the official PlayStation Store description. And for those of you that are still on the fence as to whether or not this game is for you, I highly recommend that you get the gameplay demo on the PlayStation Store right now.
Epsilon, come in. Get out of there ASAP. Now. Run!
Red Matter has been heavily upgraded for the PSVR 2, and it's currently 45% off. Over 1,700 people have rated it 4.68 out of 5 stars, with 94% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. As Agent Epsilon in Red Matter, you'll investigate a top-secret research project on Rhea, one of Saturn's moons, decipher hidden messages and mechanisms using an array of high-tech tools in a surreal, high-detail, brutalist environment. But beware, the truth you uncover may be darker than you ever imagined. And I have to say, I did just play this again for the first time on the PSVR 2, and I felt like the entire game looked much better, and that could have been just because everything was sharp and clean at the 4K HDR OLED display here. But the room scale, me walking around freely, full 360, being able to interact with everything with no tracking issues whatsoever, the adaptive triggers, the controls, everything just felt way better. So yes, even though you might have played this on the PSVR 1 a long time ago, there is a free upgrade for Red Matter 1. I do highly recommend you put it in and play it for a couple more hours, play it all over, and then go play Red Matter 2. Firmament is a puzzle adventure game by the legendary game studio behind the best-selling games Myst and Riven, and it's currently 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 45% off total. Over 160 people have rated it 3.79 out of 5 stars, with 67% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 16% did give this 1 star. Featuring deep storytelling and world building, discover the story of the seemingly abandoned world as you explore and unlock the mysteries of 3 unique realms and beyond. Now, this does look and sound awesome as a hybrid flat and VR game, and apparently it is excellent on the flat screen and PC VR, but unfortunately everywhere I'm reading, this game was poorly ported on PSVR 2, quite literally suffering from severe aliasing, low resolution, and poor use of reprojection, as it's reported to look muddy and unclear, which is very weird. Also, there is a known bug in the Ice Factory level that makes it impossible to complete the game without very specific, non-obvious actions, and I have no idea what that means as I'm just doing the AI overview on Google there. Again, that said, the flat screen game is supposed to be great, so I am assuming you can play the levels that are bugged out and go back to the VR after. But I've never played this before and I can't speak to it from experience. Anyone out there, again, if you owned it, played it, loved it, or hate it, please let us know if it's been patched since all of those negative reviews. That would be great. Dark Sword Battle Eternity is a captivating VR action RPG, and it's currently 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 50% off total. Only 84 people have rated it 3.76 out of 5 stars, with 63% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 13% did give this 1 star. This game offers an unparalleled experience of fast-paced combat in a dark fantasy setting. Engage in exhilarating hack-and-slash battles where you can develop a unique combat style, take advantage of enemy weaknesses, and amass materials for crafting superior weaponry. Embark on an epic battle against relentless enemies, aiming for the top floor as you grow stronger along the way. Randomized power-up skills render each run different every time. Dark Sword combines the thrill of VR with the depth of action RPGs, ensuring a rich and varied experience for all players. Everything from I'm seeing seeing in the trailer here, it does remind me a lot of Until You Fall, but anybody who owns the game that can speak to this, if you can please let us know whether or not we should get this game at that sale price, that would be awesome.
You had never heard of Happy Funland Theme Park.
Now I can say from experience, Happy Funland was not fun and did not make me happy whatsoever, and it's currently 50% off. Almost 300 people have rated it 3.88 out of 5 stars, with 72% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but I have to say, I am not one of them. I did get a free review key at launch, so I covered it immediately, and it was littered with bugs, no joke. It was actually almost unplayable for me when I found the jankiness. The frame rate was so bad and inconsistent throughout. Really, really disliked it. As much as I usually go on and on about all the problems that were with the game, you can check out my review video. I go on and on about it, literally, and I did say it in my video, even with all the problems being fixed, I don't think I can recommend this. So yes, please check out the video. I don't want to talk about it for 5 more minutes when you can actually just go take a gander yourself and see whether or not you'd like this. Mixture is another platformer for the PSVR 2, and it's 38% off right now. Only 58 people have rated it 3.84 out of 5 stars, with 68% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 16% did give this 2 stars. And I have to say, I did start playing this game, and I've only put 1 or 2 hours into it, and as you're seeing the ratings right here, I do feel completely mixed right now. But it just has enough for me to go, oh, you know, that's actually really cool. Picture playing a moss-based game where you're seeing your little guy running around and you can attack and stuff, but at the same time, I'm using a weapon wheel by holding a button down, and I choose a specific potion that I'm making, one of them being like glue, and then I throw it on the enemy or enemies, and throwing the actual bottle, you can choose between aim assist and no aim assist. I actually went no aim assist, and I gotta say, the tracking's awesome. I was able to actually throw these bottles and connect them to the enemies there without any problems, so I was very happy about that. Games like Moss and stuff didn't offer that, so it is giving something new, but it does feel like a Quest 2 game. You know, the actual graphics aren't that great. They're really bare bones. I feel like Moss on PSVR 1 looked way better than this, what I remember. And the frame rate, when I'm moving the guy around, it doesn't feel silky smooth, and you would expect that with this bare bones looking game. So yeah, the frame rate not even perfectly smooth. Or in mid combat, I'm having to look literally straight down, like I mean hurting my neck straight down trying to see what's going on. So you can totally tell this game is not polished, but it is introducing these new concepts I've never seen before in other games. So, you know, I still feel like I have to put some time into it to see if there's anything else to speak to about this. But right now, I just didn't like that frame rate. It wasn't perfectly smooth, and that throws me off when I'm totally used to that on most of the games now on PSVR 2. Let yourself be transported by an experience that goes beyond the ordinary, where dreams and nightmares meet to help you rediscover who you truly are in Onirium, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 60% off total. Only 84 people have rated it 3.55 out of 5 stars, with 61% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 29% did give this 1 or 2 stars. Onirium offers a one-of-a-kind experience in the world of video games, taking you on an extraordinary journey through dreams and nightmares that will lead you to discover more about yourself. Your actions will transport you to the magnificent or hellish worlds where emotions you thought were lost will resurface intense and vivid. Interesting. An engaging original soundtrack composed by Maestro Mario Rosini will accompany you through majestic and extraordinary environments. You will experience a dreamlike world where music, landscapes, and your actions intertwine to bring you back to the core of human emotions, such as joy, fear, and wonder. This interactive journey will immerse you in a unique experience designed by experts in art therapy, chromotherapy, music therapy, and psychology to engage you on a level never seen before. Oh, that sounds awesome. This physics-based toy puzzle game is called Bridge Constructor Studio, and it's currently 50% off. Almost 100 people have rated it 3.49 out of 5 stars, with 59% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 23% did give this 1 star. This is a classic bridge building game where you can let your creativity run free with an intuitive building system, easy controls, no budget constraints, and optional challenges. As a bridge architect, you will design your constructions in animated 3D mini dioramas and start the simulation to watch as your creations are put to the ultimate stability test. This game features 70 bridge building puzzles across 5 beautiful biomes with limitless creativity. And with 7 unique vehicles, each one offers different challenges with unique physics. For an extra challenge, however, you can earn a special reward by keeping costs within a set budget while ensuring your bridge holds up under pressure. And if you're like me and you loved playing SimCity back in the day, the PSVR 2 has Cities VR Enhanced Edition, and it's 80% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 85% off total. Over 210 people have rated it 3.52 out of 5 stars, with just over half of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And just speaking from experience, I have soaked in, I want to say a full day, if not 2, into this game. And it was very hard to get into, I gotta admit. There was just so much to learn and figure out. It is that SimCity complication. But as I started to get the hang of things, I started to see the simplicity behind everything. It really is not that complicated. But yes, I have not been enticed to go back after spending 2 days on this. But it is the full SimCity experience, if that makes sense. VRider SBK drops you into the heart of the officially licensed Superbike World Championship, and it's currently 33% off. Almost 200 people have rated it 3.7 out of 5 stars, with 66% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 17% did give this 1 star. Lean into every turn and blast down straights at over 200 miles an hour across 14 world tracks alongside 23 official riders. You're going to ride 5 elite machines, the Ducati, BMW, Kawasaki, Honda, and Yamaha, using next-gen gesture-based controls designed for immersive VR. Go head-to-head in global player versus player multiplayer, dominate the solo tournament mode, or challenge the clock in ghost races. With its unique Simcade gameplay blend, VRider SBK delivers blistering speed, unforgiving realism, and pure two-wheeled exhilaration. Very cool. When I go to play this one, I'll be trying this on my exercise bench leaning forward like I did with Runner. That said, if you love the Guitar Hero and want that in VR, Unplugged Air Guitar is currently 70% off right now. Over 400 people have rated it 3.41 out of 5 stars, with over half of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I do have to say from experience, I did buy this on sale at like 40% off at the time. I did not expect anything from it, and just like Guitar Hero Rock Band, this game is extremely simple, but unlike those 2 other games, you only have 2 buttons on your left hand, and you have your trigger finger on your right hand as your pick. When you're using your left hand, that index finger, your trigger finger, is that tiny little bar, and you do have to hold it and keep it in that position. When you move your guitar up, that whole thing moves with you. So it is actually all about precision and keeping that spot right there, so that does feel really good. And that middle finger is the 3 fingers that you're seeing there, that giant bar. And when you see that index finger and that middle finger change colors, all that is it's telling you to turn your wrist this way, and then you're hitting that index finger or middle. That's it. But do that while you're trying to keep your finger in that exact same position and then combining your 2 fingers at the same time. I found what was really weird, is that when you're holding your pick with your trigger finger, I play guitar in real life, it doesn't feel natural. You know, there's this giant gap in between my thumb and my index finger. So what I found worked really well, just saying, hold your controller down here and I pinch my fingers here or here like this. I'm not touching that middle finger button, I'm just holding the controller. In game, it shows my hand is open. However, when I'm strumming, it's connecting to the strings, everything's working. That was a game-changing experience for me to hold the controller that way versus squeezing that pick. That trigger finger just felt super thick, like I'm holding an eraser or something as I'm trying to play guitar. Very weird. The moment I did that, all of a sudden my scores just instantly increased, and I gotta say, out of the 2 songs, I've scored number 7 in the world. And I have to say this every time, when you play these rhythm-based music games, when you play on the harder levels, the hard and the experts, it is actually easier because you're hitting note for note. I do find when you're playing on the easier settings, you're waiting to hit the actual beat when you're already hearing it. You know the song, so it actually stifles you, if that's the best way to describe it. But do start on the easy or normal just to get a feel for it. But I highly encourage you, do push yourself right away, because you'll find that you'll hit those notes a lot faster and it'll feel far more natural. Jam out to 45 plus rock hits in 4 difficulty modes. And I'm showing you a list of songs that are included with this game. Again, this is just a handful of stuff, so when I jumped into it, I didn't expect these very popular licensed songs to be in there. So again, right away, I instantly got hooked, hearing the songs I'm familiar with and then playing to them. The best firearm simulator on the PSVR1 just got a whole lot better with Gun Club VR, and it's currently 60% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 65% off total. Over 2,200 people have rated this since the PSVR 1 days, 4.2 out of 5 stars, with 80% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I have to say, on the PSVR 1, this was revolutionary. Quite literally, the first game that included manual reloading in VR for PSVR 1 there. It was just so well done with all the different challenges, all the different targeting ranges, and a zombie mode on top of that. These, flat pieces that are just popping up in front of you. It actually did did a really good job of everything, and then some sort of World War II mode in there as well. With Reloaded, it says it has full audio remastering for every weapon, massively enhanced textures and lighting, and remodeled ranges makes this the most realistic and accurate version of Gun Club ever. With over 100 weapons and counting, as well as interactive ranges, sideshows, and the unlimited freedom of sandbox mode, there's never been a better time to hit the range. Earn cash and rankings based on your performance, and then unlock hundreds of events including hostage rescue and sniper scenarios to the zombie apocalypse. And if you want to get some more content, you can get the SWAT DLC at 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. And with that SWAT DLC, it puts you to the test as you master the weapons and tactics needed to become the best of the best. Hone your skills in the intense combat training simulations, face off against the waves of hostile targets, and survive the onslaught of the apocalyptic zombie horde. I'm showing you right here the list of guns that you're getting, and with that, along with an all-new subway scenario with dozens of new events to master. You can also get the Wild West DLC, and that's 50% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. And I'm showing you a list of all the Western type based guns that are included with that one, all with the complexities of the manual reloading with all those old guns, which sounds amazing. But if you don't like that manual reload, in this DLC, they offer you a quick reload function, which I'm surprised they're doing that, but maybe some people don't want to have to do the whole 6-shooter thing and reload. And the last one for Gun Club is the Heavy Weapons DLC at 50% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Unleash Hellfire in the action-packed new high explosive shooting range, or rack up the collateral damage on over 100 new classic, wave, and zombie events. And as you can see here, you're getting a bunch of RPGs and grenade launchers, making a total of 11 explosive new heavy weapons. Awesome. But if you want everything that Gun Club VR has to offer, you can get the Ultimate Edition, and it's 50% off as well. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. And as I'm showing you right here, this includes all of the DLC for Gun Club VR. The completely rebranded Among Us 3D VR finally allows flat screen players to participate in the VR environment, and it's currently 40% off. Almost 2,000 people have rated it 3.33 out of 5 stars, with 56% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 32% did give this 1 star. The classic game now returns with a massive amount of players flooding the gates, and with this, a new game mode called the Infected. Quite simply, the Infected try to catch and infect all the crewmates to expand their ranks before the crewmates can finish a set number of tasks. And the other major difference from the original VR version is that all cosmetics are now purchased using Stardust. This is heavily dependent upon the social interaction, where you're going to be tasked, quite literally, with doing tasks at the same time as everybody else, but you never know who's chosen as the imposter. That might be you actually one round, and the idea here is that you're supposed to do your tasks like everyone else, but at the same time deduce who is the murderer going around murdering everybody. That is the very quick gist of it. There's a lot more actual mechanics to the game that I can't speak to because I've never played it, but you can totally check online. There's so many people that have covered this. It's time to serve the hungry and thirsty zombies while you defend yourself in Zombie Bar Simulator VR, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. Only 47 people have rated it 3.66 out of 5 stars, with 59% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, and the rest is equally mixed there. And it is quite literally what you're seeing on screen. It is another cooking type simulator based game. You have to master many recipes and quickly figure out where various ingredients are located. Zombies don't tolerate mistakes or long waits. And don't be surprised if a rowdy customer attacks you, but you'll have many different weapons behind the bar that'll effectively allow you to subdue them. And you must be prepared to serve those dishes according to their desires. Burgers with fresh brains, liver, or still beating hearts. Fries with frozen cut off fingers and bloody ketchup. Crunchy and squeaky reanimated dead rats. Good and fast is the key to making as much money as possible, which allow you to go wild in the environment store to give your bar a unique character. So that's really all I can say about the game. Never played it before. Anyone again in the comments section, please speak up. Let us know what your thoughts and feelings are on it, whether or not we should get it at the sale price. Mind Labyrinth VR Dreams has been remade for PSVR 2 and even enhanced for the PS5 Pro, and it's currently 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 60% off total. Only 33 people have rated it so far, 3.42 out of 5 stars, with just under half of them giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 30% did give this 1 or 2 stars. Mind Labyrinth VR takes you on a deep and immersive inner journey where symbolic landscapes and atmospheric environments guide you toward calm, awareness, and renewed energy. Explore dreamlike worlds, experience meaningful emotions, and be inspired by words that nourish your mind and spirit. Each environment has its own emotional resonance, with everything designed to promote introspection and relaxation, accompanied by a powerful soundtrack featuring music from Oscar-winning composers and internationally acclaimed artists known for their emotional depth. Along the way, you will discover peaceful sanctuaries, meditative spaces where you can pause, enter, and immerse yourself in theta and delta sound frequencies. These brainwave patterns are widely studied in neuroscience for their ability to support deep relaxation, inner exploration, and mental renewal. Developed with the support and recognition of major international scientific research centers, Mind Labyrinth has also been used in clinical settings to assist emotional recovery and guided visualization. The title was nominated for the prestigious VR Fitness Awards as Best VR Meditation App of the Year, earning global recognition for its innovative approach to digital wellness. Mind Labyrinth is your interactive space to slow down, explore, and reconnect with yourself. Very interesting, and I truly wonder if this is much better on the PS5 because I did play this on PSVR 1 so many years ago for literally 11 minutes, so I obviously didn't go back. And unfortunately, there is no upgrade path for this game, so anybody out there, if you own this, played it, loved it, or hate it, please let us know if we should grab that at that sale price.
We just got a call from the Black Rose Mental Hospital in Craven Lane 11. Any of you nearby?
Afterlife VR is another adventure-based horror game, and it's currently 60% off right now. Almost 200 people have rated it 3.29 out of 5 stars with a completely mixed bag, but most of them giving it 3, 4, or 5 out of 5. As Adam Bernhard, a young rookie police officer on a night patrol, you receive a call that will change your life forever. Uncover secrets hidden deep within the Black Rose Mental Hospital walls, where most of the patients pose a great danger. What is really lurking behind the door of a well-known mental facility, where Adam's younger sister Allison was recently sent? Is there any connection between missing patients and hospital workers, and the groundbreaking study about the Indigo Children phenomena? Uncover the secrets hidden deep within the Black Rose Mental Hospital walls, where most of the patients pose a threat to themselves and to others. Awesome Asteroids pays homage to the arcade classics, and it's currently 60% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 15% more, making it 75% off total. 160 people have rated it 3.21 out of 5 stars, with another completely mixed bag of reviews here. Quite simply, you'll blast through waves of asteroids using lasers, rockets, and Gatling guns while trying to keep bases and other structures from taking damage. Grab shield power-ups to charge your shields, which will protect you from asteroids and mines. You'll need to take out enemy ships before they can destroy your bases while avoiding their defenses. So that is super simple. Whether or not it's fun using the HOTAS, I do believe this game was touting to have the eye tracking, so you just look and it automatically locks on to fire. But yeah, again, I'm not too sure whether or not it's fun to play. Again, anyone in the comment section that wants to speak to it, please do. Rampage through a sprawling cityscape, smashing buildings, tossing cars, and leaving a trail of destruction in Gorilla Attack. And it's 80% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 85% off total. Over 160 people have rated it 3.11 out of 5 stars, with just under half the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, and just under half the audience giving it 1 or 2 stars. And to my surprise, this is one of the natively compatible games for the bHaptics tack suit and tack sleeves, allowing you to feel every smash and bash in your arms and body as you devastate the city. Now, I cannot speak to this game from personal experience, but I can say I highly recommend you guys check out Without Parole's quick 2 or 3 minute review on the game, and I'm going to leave a link in the description because I do think he does an excellent job and totally informs you of what you should expect if you decide to get this game at that sale price. Brain Beats is another music VR game, but it's designed by a team of psychophysical wellness professionals, and it's currently 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 60% off total. Only 55 people have rated it 2.56 out of 5 stars, with 31% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, and 60% gave this 1 or 2 stars. The game does include 27 music tracks, and there are 3 different modes here. One completely calm, super chill, low stress, one being moderate, and then one that's more adrenaline, high end. And all you're doing is you're swinging with your sword to hit those blocks and punching with your fists. I don't see any dodging whatsoever going on. I think you're just swinging and punching those blocks and balls there. Other than that, that's all I know about the game, but it's not getting the greatest rating right now. Anyone in the comments section, if you do own the game, have played it, please let us know what you think and whether or not we should get this at the sale price.
Learn how to mix the world's most popular cocktails.
Master the art of bartending in Bartender VR Simulator, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. Over 470 people have rated it 2.44 out of 5 stars, with 53% giving this 1 star, but 25% did give this 5 out of 5. The actual premise does appeal to me. It does say, working in 4 unique and professionally equipped virtual bars, you will experience the thrill of the art of bartending under the watchful eye of a 6-time bartending world champion. Begin your journey in a music club and learn how to make 4 basic drinks. Prove yourself and win the opportunity to train and work in the next location. Master more and more demanding drinks as you progress to new, unique bars. Earn the course completion certificate and take up a whole new challenge in the pro mode. Various bartending techniques, item destruction, juggling with bartending equipment, and drink ingredients. We serve it all in a super realistic quality. Virtual makeovers never felt more real in House Flipper VR, and it's 35% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 40% off total. 115 people rated it 2.37 out of 5 stars, with under half of them giving it 1 star, but under a quarter of them gave it 5 out of 5. Grab the controllers and get to work. You will single-handedly assemble the heaters, plaster the walls, and do tens of other jobs to bring back the former glory of the place. And with better graphics and VR controls, you're now able to freely walk around at your own pace, unlike before where you had to teleport from node to node. Renovation activities require a lot of effort, so they included an animated companion, Beaver the Builder, to support you along the way while exploring the elements of the game. There is a series of challenging renovations ahead of you, so do not hesitate. Reach for your tool belt, get your crew, and take matters in your own hands. Step into the pen and meet your very own VR Raptor in Feed My Raptor VR, and it's currently 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 30% more, making it 50% off total. Only 14 people have rated it so far, 1.86 out of 5 stars, with 86% giving this 1 or 2 stars. And the PlayStation Store description simply says that you will pick up meat, throw or hand feed it, and watch your dinosaur react to every bite. Use motion controls to grab food, toss it, or tease the raptor from a safe distance. Simple mechanics, short play sessions, and a playful tune style makes this a chill VR snack size experience for dinosaur fans. That's it, and that's the whole game. But from what I'm hearing online is that this is actually a super easy platinum trophy for all of you trophy hunters out there. Otherwise, if you want to see this in action, I highly recommend you check out the footage you're seeing here in Miles Dyer's Let's Play session to see his first impressions, and I've left a link in my description and encourage you to check that one out. And of course, Miles is on a mission to do a Let's Play for every PSVR2 game out there, so be sure to subscribe to his channel and check them out. Thanks Miles for your continued support within the PSVR2 community, very much appreciated. Experience the thrill of driving massive trucks across Europe in Truck Simulator 25 Euro Driver VR, and it's 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. Only 65 people have rated it so far, 1.77 out of 5 stars, with 74% giving this 1 star, but 15% did give this 5 out of 5. And in this game, you're going to navigate cities and countrysides in order to complete 100 levels while driving 8 customizable trucks that will allow you to upgrade the interior and exterior. But before you buy, I highly recommend you check out Miles Dyer's Let's Play session you're seeing here so you have a better idea of what you should expect, as I've never played this one before. I've left a link in my description to his gameplay footage that you're seeing here, and highly encourage you subscribe to his channel and join him on his journey to playing every PSVR2 game that's out there. Prepare for the fight of your life, because Down and Out is 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 30% off total. Over 200 people have rated this 1.66 out of 5 stars, with 74% giving this 1 star, and the rest completely mixed there. And this claims to be a first-person brawler where you take the mean streets as a wandering fighter, face waves of enemies and an intuitive, real-time combat system, rise to the top of street fighting rings, or explore the city and stake out your territory. But unfortunately, I am reading everyone everywhere is saying that this game is still full of bugs and totally incomplete. And to top it off, the fighting is actually really repetitive and boring. That said, I've never personally played the game before, so I can't speak to it from experience, but I can say that this was meant to be an open world fighting game where the AI adapts to your fighting style, but apparently not so much fun to play. Anyone in the comments that wants to speak up, if you had a good experience with this game, please let us know. Otherwise, I can't recommend this one even at that sale price. And the last part of the video features 2 DLC packs for puzzling places. Don't forget you can actually get a free trial of the game if you log into the PlayStation app or the PlayStation Store website. Monthly pack number 10 is currently 30% off and features these 6 puzzles you're seeing right here. And the other DLC is monthly pack number 11, Skoglholm Manor, and it's currently 30% off as well. And with that, you're getting 6 unique puzzles featured in this video right here.
So check this out.
And that is all of the games and DLC going on sale during this Hot Deals and Critics sale until Wednesday, February 25th. And if you guys like this video, don't forget to hit that like, hype, and or subscribe button to help spread the word and get even more people playing the future of console gaming, which of course is...
PlayStation